applied in several places. So I am, putting my life toward nonprofit management, and I think I want to get involved and try to help WEFT kind of get involved for the long term. I think it's kind of been teetering on the edge, I think, for a few years, and I want to get it off the ledge. And I think some people have felt like lemmings for a while, and I think that genius needs to be retired from what's thinking.
Any questions for Jermaine?
Are questions and comments combined, or?
If you like, sure.
I don't want to embarrass him, but I didn't think we were going to get through 2012. I frankly think 2012 was scarier than even the stuff I've heard about tonight. And I don't think it's ever been recognized, but I think Jermaine kept us open through 2012. So I at least would be confident that I think we qualified.
Well, I'd just like to say I appreciate your view about the fact that you think that you have some solutions to thinking about WEFT being open long term. And I'd like to read that book. And I'd like to support you however I can and whatever actions you come up with.
I'll actually forward the book out today.
Oh, I'm trying to remember how you were with documentation and when you were board chair before, because I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one thing that we really need to keep up on, and that's one thing that Vicki has been good at, and we really need to make sure that we've got everything documented, and I just need to know if you can document stuff and get it to us.
Mm-hmm. I definitely believe so. One of the things I think would be helpful for WEFT, and I think Andy might be able to help me with this, is give everything sort of a document number.
Okay.
So it can be easily traced of
we did that.
when it's from.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I think that, well, I mean, what specifically in terms of documenting?
Oh, I don't know. I half the time can't find anything. So I just I just wanted to know if you're good at keeping track of that kind of stuff and sending it out and making sure that everybody's communicated with.
I am. One of the things I definitely think we should do is, I think we should have a shared, say, Google Drive for the board specifically, especially, and it should contain all of the most recent, up-to-date things constantly.
We have a thing called Smartsheet that Laney can teach you how to use.
You have Smartsheet?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I've used that before.
Okay.
But a refresher could be good because it has been not one of the things in my daily usage.
My only other question is, can you spend more time at WEFT? Because, if a board chair who is at the station every week, at least sometime, is a good thing.
I will actually, I was thinking about that, I will actually look at my schedule, and I'm going to, and it would not be able to be during office hours. I don't get off till 6:30 on weekdays. So that is one thing, it would not be able to be during office hours. But I would set aside, probably at least 2 to 4 hours a week to be at the station, just so if people know they want to drop by at some point and find me, they'd be able to.
Yeah.
Like a fixed day of the week?
Yeah, fixed day of the week, fixed time. That I'll try to apply to, most weeks. I won't post it's every week, but
These are the office hours for the station.
That's a good suggestion.
Jermaine, in that vein, on the average, I'm curious, on the average, how many hours a week do you have available for WEFT? And also, how many hours a week, again, on the average, do you anticipate it takes to be board chair?
It was a pretty rocky time when I was, Todd referenced 2012. Rocky is a really nice way of putting things, but yeah. I'd say I was easily putting in a minimum of 10 hours a week in terms of, conversations with people, email exchanges, documents, and all of the other things with the station. So I think from what I've seen from Laney, I don't know if I'm necessarily looking at that large of a time commitment. You know,
I think it's more.
I can tell you, I know it's more,
It's
at
more.
least on her part. Previous board member, Rayon Gossett, always said it takes at least 20 hours a week to do a good job. From my experience too, it takes considerable amount of time. So, take that for what
Really
it's worth.
just all depends on who the board is that's supporting you.
Right.
Absolutely, and that's part of the conversation tonight, coming up on the agenda.
I'd call the vote.
Call a vote,
Yeah.
okay? All those in favor say
No, we
aye.
gotta have ballots.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right, ballots, you're right, pass these around.
I have to
Oh.
leave by
Oh, give me
9,
one
so-
more.
Everybody screwed up Jermaine's name when he was board chair before. It is Jermaine with a J. He is a boy.
Todd and Toll.
We just give these to
Is
Laney.
there, I don't, is there a Y? Or
No,
is
it's
it
just-
M-A-I-N?
M-A-I-N-E.
Like the
Okay.
state of Maine.
Jur.
I'll remember that. Yeah, of course.
Is it time for you state?
Oh, sorry.
Do we have anybody
while
here
that's
from,
being
you're from
done-
Maine?
Who voted?
While that's being done, we need nominations for vice chair.
I am not intimidated by vice chair. You're currently vice chair,
I'm
right?
currently vice chair, but given that I don't consider myself to have done the best job, I'm more than willing to nominate Todd.
Oh, thank you. I will accept this one.
Well, just, I'd like to nominate you, because I'd like you to be secretary in case Mark wants.
You can do that.
I'm gonna nominate Andrew.
And you accept, Andrew?
I'm going to have to decline. Thank you, though.
You want Todd to be secretary, right?
I'm not willing to be secretary.
No.
That was my time in Vietnam.
If,
I think apparently,
I would be willing to be vice chair. If Todd doesn't wanna do it, and Andrew doesn't wanna do it.
No,
Andrew.
Oh,
I
you
accept
will-
this.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Just
I don't want to run against Andrew because
forget that.
You may nominate yourself, however.
I would, no, as long as, no.
I'd like to ask for a statement then.
Okay. I believe I was vice chair for. That's an interesting question. I believe I was vice chair for almost 2 years. I felt up to the task. I actually would have been happy to do more than I did as vice chair. I think I can pick up where I left off. I realize there have been a lot of things in the meantime that I'm bringing myself up to speed on. Oh, I do need a ballot, please. But I try to make myself available to WEFT, to WEFTies. That's one reason I ran for the board again, because I wanted the associates, and also because you were not here at this part of the meeting, but I said you had asked for more people to step up. You asked enough that I started taking it seriously. So thank you. Well, actually, not thank you, because it's going to be a lot of work now. But I don't know if you want any more specifics
No,
from me,
thank you.
but okay.
I call the vote.
Do we announce them all at once, or?
Yeah, just do them all.
Well, the thing is, if somebody loses, they could still run for something else.
Oh, that's
So
true,
I
but
actually-
nobody's running,
Just call it, tell
Yeah.
nobody's running
We had
against
Jermaine,
you, so you're
one,
not
we
gonna
had
lose.
7 for
Pass it
Jermaine,
that
yes,
way.
and 1 abstained.
Okay,
So
so he
congratulations,
wins.
Jermaine.
Congratulations.
You're board chair.
It's your lucky day.
How many was, what?
7 for,
7,
1 abstained.
7-0.
1 did not
Oh,
vote.
and my name is Todd, in case anybody TODD. I get called Scott, but it's
Yeah,
not
I know Scott. Does that count?
only in Florida.
Okay,
You're not gonna be
so
our
we
version
got
of
the
Trump,
vice
are
chair
you?
done, secretary.
Oh, is everybody in?
Yeah, I think we were,
Oh,
we're
okay.
trying to roll along.
Just
Sure.
Laney and Brian
Yeah,
are counting ballots.
So, secretary. Andrew, are you willing to be secretary?
Is that a nomination?
I'm nominating if you, I'm giving you the right to accept decline.
I'm going to need to bring in some sort of typing device, but sure, I will accept.
Mark does it on paper.
I know, but you do not, I don't want to deal with my
Are
handwriting.
you secretary now?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I would be fine with Mark
Do it
continuing on
again?
as secretary.
Yeah.
Nominated.
Yeah, nominate Mark.
I decline, thank you.
I would ask, okay.
Okay.
7 for Todd, congratulations, and congratulations, vice chair.
701 again?
Yes, 7 and 1.
Oh,
Okay.
should take one for myself. Make sure Sandra gets one.
My brain is not working today.
Did you get that?
I need to go back there, give me 2 minutes.
Do you have a statement to make?
What?
For one of my other, I'm not going to stand up. For one of my other jobs, because for some reason I seem to direct a lot of them, I have done written transcripts before, or I should say typed out transcripts. So I think I've got some experience in picking up where you leave off here, since I can understand being tired with the position.
I call it
She's gotta go.
Sandra's always got to go.
I have a question. If somebody is holding a chair now, but they aren't rerunning for an office, do they stay on the board and then do they get re-voted on at associates meeting? Do you hold your seat on the board or you're done on
Just
the
the
board?
Right.
officers are separate
Yeah.
from the board.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
The
Yeah.
only way they're not separate is if you get kicked off the board, obviously you can't still be an officer. But
Okay.
just because you're not an officer doesn't do anything to your being on the board.
But when your board position expires, you can just be off the board like Al, right?
Right.
It
Yeah, you would just
expired.
be, yeah.
Okay, okay. Are we all voting?
Okay, treasurer is the next position to be voted upon.
I nominate Sandra?
I accept.
Any other
With confidence if you
nominations?
accept. I didn't want to sound ambivalent.
I said, yeah.
Statement?
I'm only gonna be on the board until, July, I think, is when it is, and I haven't been the, most amazing treasurer, but, seriously, Lainey does most of the work by making sure she gets everything reconciled in QuickBooks, and so I'm very willing to do it. The complicated thing is that in order to, save money, we're using the same copy of QuickBooks that I use for my company business. We keep them completely separate, but, there is an issue we're gonna have to figure out when I'm not treasurer anymore, so.
That's fine.
So,
Do you want to start training someone to take over that?
Well, it has to be a board member.
Yeah.
yeah, well, Lainey knows how to do it, so
Okay.
she can.
And we might need to, we need to probably
Any
figure out some
questions
financial
for
software
Sandra?
and stuff.
Yeah, because we don't know what capabilities she has.
Oh.
Perhaps she'd be someone that you could possibly train or something. I mean, she's just not here, so I don't know enough about her experience, but
We'll
maybe.
have to figure
Because-
that out.
Yeah, I mean, we can elect, I think we should elect for
Long
now,
about
but
June
thinking
30th.
for July or like that,
Well,
then.
I'm probably
Are you
sooner
sure you
than
won't
that.
stay longer?
What?
Are you sure you won't stay on the board longer?
It just depends on how things go, I don't know.
Okay, for secretary, we have 7 for Andrew.
It sounds like the same result for everything.
Yes.
701 on everything?
Nope.
701?
Where's that the area code of?
I don't know. I will care after the meeting.
Really?
Okay, and the last
I'll be
position
sure also.
is, at large. This is the
Yeah.
fifth member of the executive committee, which allows us to not have a tie vote out of executive
Oh,
committee.
wait,
meetings.
I'm that now. right?
You
Yes.
are that now, yes.
Hey, sorry.
And I nominate Barb.
I'd like to nominate Andy.
Can we nominate people who aren't here, or is it only people who are?
You,
They have to be able to accept.
they have to be able to accept it. Now, when Sandra was not gonna be, potentially not gonna be here for elections, I had talked to her in advance and said, would you be willing to be treasurer again? And she said, yes, so that would have been okay, but to nominate somebody who hasn't had a chance to say yes or no,
Sure.
no.
So I believe both Barb and Andy have been nominated, and I don't know if either has accepted.
Yeah.
You have, Barb has, and how about you, Andy?
What is this?
It's an at-large member of the executive committee.
Oh, okay.
So any executive committee, you would be invited to attend as a representative of the board.
You would be a tiebreaker officer with no specifically delegated duties besides being
I
an
agree.
officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, you gotta be around, you don't know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
You
sounds
know-
hopefully will not be, but it's
Yeah.
nothing against here, it's just
Yeah.
hope they have a long-term job.
well, if you wanna take it and then when you like go, then I would volunteer to be your second, but whatever,
What
I
about
don't know
that?
if
Have
you
the
can do that.
election if you
Yeah.
had to
Okay.
resign.
Then that's fine.
Do
Okay.
you both accept, or are you dropping out?
I'll drop out then.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you have a statement to make, Andy.
Sure, I do care about WEFT, and I've actually, at least with WEFT Archives, been trying to make things as much transparent as we can and to try to help clear up some confusion so that we don't keep running across, like, we don't know what's, all of us are trying to talk about things, we don't know what version we're looking at, we don't know what the rules are, what we don't know. So, I do think that's important, thing for us to be working on it, and we have been somewhat. So, in whatever capacity I would be as a tiebreaker, I would be continuing in that.
This is a very ambitious room full of people. Clinging to our power.
Yeah.
It's like, please, anybody else?
So I think it's not, when that gets counted, that the elections are over, and I congratulate all of our new officers, I think that's great, and Sandra, and enjoy Florida.
I will,
Oh,
and
have
thank you,
fun.
Vicki and Mark, for the work that you've done, seriously.
Yes.
I mean, I'm on my way tonight, I'm leaving,
Have fun.
Where in Florida?
What
I just
part?
came from there.
Sanibel Island.
Oh, soak it up.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Make sure you
Where I
use your
live.
sunscreen.
I will,
Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye. Okay, we still
Bye,
have
Sandra.
a number of items here, so let's get kicking on them. PC election from the board. This relates to Barb, who has been faithfully serving as a PC elected board member for the PC for years, and we don't have a date of service.
I don't remember how long I've done it.
It's not in the notes from the associates, and it's like this open-ended, and so I think what we need to do is to have an actual PC representative election so that we can attach a date to
Okay.
it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That works.
Now, the only issue is that we don't have a statement 21 days in advance that has been posted on the bulletin board for your election, so that would be a concern, so maybe,
Do it next month.
yeah, well, you can continue serving, I guess, as you
Yeah.
have been. Post your intention on the board at WEFT and send an email to Jermaine, and he can forward it to WEFT-O and get that information out.
And this is to be the PC representative on the board, or no?
Just PC, yeah, PC member.
Yeah, okay.
So we have no record when she was elected?
No, we have
She's
not.
the only one.
Cause I was back, I was on when Stan, I've been on pretty steady except for the 6 months I was gone when I went,
Yeah,
you
so
know?
this is just really
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
official.
Okay,
So that's resolved. The next thing on the agenda is committee assignments. Now, we have, I sent out an email that said these are the committees that are required by the board. And so far, it has been the board, the executive committee, and namely Sandra and me, who have been doing pretty much all of that work. And so I would like each of you to decide which committee you are willing to serve on.
The entire time I was on the board, from my very first meeting to my very last meeting, I was the nominating committee. And
Okay?
I'm perfectly happy to resume that.
Okay, actually, the requirement for committees, according to the bylaws, is it's chaired by a board member, and then other members of WEFT can join
And we just never had
that
anybody
committee.
officially
And
join.
so if you become the chair of the nominating committee, it will be your job to get one or two other people
Right,
to be a part of that.
right.
Okay, and from my perspective, we have either 4 or 5 open positions on the board that are board elected.
Right.
So that's your job.
It was my job, and
Yep,
it is
okay.
again.
Okay,
I know what I'm getting into.
okay, good, all right. So, who else has a selection to make? We have financial development, we have No, actually, it's the finance committee. Has to be chaired, no, the financial development is not a required committee, but it's a good one to have. But we do need somebody to chair the finance committee, it cannot be the treasurer.
Correct.
I guess I'm ex officio on everything, yeah. I was gonna say I'll share it, but I guess I'm ex officio on it anyway. Can I share it?
I don't think there's a rule against it, but I don't know that you
Want to.
want to.
No, I think the rule is just that the treasurer, because there needs to be the two independent, like,
Yeah.
Oh, gee, if you were treasurer, I guess you couldn't.
Yep.
Treasurer is on the committee,
But
but
can't share it.
cannot chair.
yeah. Let's continue on with the other ones, maybe come back.
The finance?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Mark's looking at the bylaws and we'll pick up, I didn't bring a copy of that list
Ah.
that I had. Let me see if I can find it.
Wasn't one the building committee?
No.
Oh.
No, it's, hold
Here
on.
we go.
You got it?
Okay, the executive, finance committee, human resources committee, programming committee, financial development committee,
No, it is there, okay.
and nominations committee, and the advisory committee.
The advisory committee is what that separate group that's going to be meeting on the 29th.
Sure.
So you guys are taking that on
Yes.
as a task, but you're not, that's not really chairing that, you're just hosting that.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
More of a
So we
volunteer.
still need somebody for the finance committee, human resources committee. Barb has taken on the programming committee and financial development. I would be willing
Barb is
to,
taking on.
Barb is
financial
running her
development?
programming.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
I am willing to take on financial development.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Okay.
And Jermaine, you've got the finance committee? Is that,
Yep, sure.
Can
yes?
I ask one question? I thought before Gina was elevated to head of the programming committee, I thought that a board member couldn't chair that committee.
Yeah,
She's
actually.
not chairing it, she's just
She's
on.
not-
Oh, so we
Gina's
just need a
the chair.
liaison then?
Yeah.
Okay,
A board member needs to be on there.
right, okay.
She's actually
He's
the
the
secretary.
Of the programming, yeah. Kim.
So Gina's still in charge, but
Yeah.
we need a board member to blank.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what are we missing?
HRC.
HRC.
Which was empty most of the time I was on the board.
But it's not gonna be anymore, because every board member, and I'll contact, Denise and see what her preference is, but I think every board member should be on
Something, yeah.
something, in addition to coming to monthly meetings.
Just, you want me to tell you what human resources is? According to the bylaws, it says it's responsible for recruiting and selecting volunteers, for creation and review of all job descriptions, for review, evaluation, and recommendation to the board of personnel policies and procedures, and for evaluating personnel appeals in accordance with the appeals policy in Article 11.
I can be on that. We haven't, I'm assuming, having met before, not in a while, but,
That would actually be a good committee to review the policy.
well, that's actually what I was looking at,
yeah.
was saying that that's part of what it is. And then, since I've already been wanting to put stuff up on WEFT Archives to update with this information exactly, then maybe that would work well for me to.
So, I think what makes sense, and I can tell Jermaine what to do now that he's the chair, is that you'll have to send out an email to WEFTO or wherever and get recruits to serve on those committees with people, or invite people to do that.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want
I
one
would
person
also-
committees, right?
No, preferably not.
Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kinda lonely.
Yeah, it is really lonely, you know that.
Yeah, you're basically done nominating.
Okay, are we done with
Yep.
that? Okay, moving on to the next item, spring pledge drive dates. Lainey, have you got any preferences there? We generally have our spring pledge drive in March.
Yeah. I think Easter's really this year.
Yeah,
Right,
it's,
so we'll have to go around that. I've had one person reach out with interest in being on that committee, which is Bob Allred.
Good.
Yeah, he's really interested, so, hopefully he'll have some new creative ideas.
Okay, so we have done it for 2 weeks, the
Mhm.
last couple of times, rather than the 3.
Okay,
Easter is, I don't have that in my calendar.
I think if we Google it, it comes right up.
And then also does,
Easter and spring break, those are the two things
Yeah.
that, yeah.
to avoid. And then also does,
April 16th.
we
Oh,
always,
April 16th.
Yeah, it's later than I thought.
we also
Okay.
debated how much this actually mattered all the time. Do we know when WILL is doing their spring pledge drive?
We've decided it doesn't matter. We don't know that, but,
Still might, I mean, we have a different board now, it might be good to look into.
Yeah.
okay, if you wanna delay the decision, that's fine.
Well, I mean, let me find when WILL
that's-
spring pledge drive is.
We could, I told Bob that we could, work on getting a committee or a group together to talk about spring pledge drive. Maybe they can look into researching
Yeah.
dates and pros and cons and I can present that at the next board meeting for us.
Since we're meeting again this month,
Yeah.
and there are other interested parties, I think it'd be good to make it later this month.
Okay, so I'll have them look at, so we said WILL, at least the dates,
Yeah.
spring break, for
And
Easter, yeah. Easter, okay. So I'll get a hold of Bob and see if there's other people who might wanna meet, and have them look into those things and have them give me something to bring back to the next board meeting.
Now, with that, we need to have that pre-drive letter go out. You've
Yeah.
already written one.
Oh, yeah,
So I think revise that, shorten it up a little bit.
yeah,
But I think that could serve that purpose really, really well.
okay, that'd be good, so, okay. And last time we had a pretty good turnout for letter stuffing, so maybe I can reach out to people again.
And, it's been difficult to get it out 2 weeks prior to the
Yeah.
drive before. Whenever we set those dates, we need a backward plan to make sure that
Yeah.
that gets out in
Yeah.
time.
So, pledge drive dates to be determined.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm looking at Will's website, I don't see
Yes.
anything right now.
Gina's got something.
It's,
I have a suggestion for stuffing. During the week is not good. I mean,
Right.
I'd love to come and help, but I can't come at 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon.
Right, so maybe like
if
a
it's maybe a
weekend,
Saturday
okay,
morning or
I like that.
something.
we could have
maybe
donuts
we
and
could get more
coffee or
people,
something,
it's a
okay,
light turnout.
okay,
Or-
I'll bring
I
that
don't
to
know,
Bob.
you're always into food, are you trying to fatten us all up and then
It
you're gonna
makes
sell
people
us on the,
happy.
you're gonna sell us on the
It
open
is.
market?
It is easier to get people to go.
It is, there's donuts, makes people happy.
Lunch and
So I'll ask
pie.
Bob to, and see if he has anybody else that might wanna join us, I'll ask a few other people. I think that's a good idea, cause I do think other people want to, just can't.
Right.
I do think it is nice when board members are there too, so that, cause people have said before, like, why are there no board members? And you're like, oh, people have jobs, calm down. So, I think that'll be nice.
Okay. Next item is the member election, and that timeline starts pretty quickly. We've got to get that letter out. We'll have 2 seats to fill for member election because Jermaine and Denise are filling the seats that are until 6/18.
But Sandra and Robert,
But Sandra and Robert's seats are open unless Sandra decides to run, and God knows what Robert's thinking. Probably not gonna run, but nobody's heard from it.
Right.
and
So
nobody
we
ran
don't know.
last time until this past associates meeting, so.
So, maybe Jermaine, you'll have better luck reaching out to Robert.
Okay.
I don't know. Find out what his intentions are, but at the very least, you're gonna have to let him know that his seat is up for recall if he
Yeah,
does not.
that's a letter. That's all.
The other thing I just wanted to call your attention to this contact list. I did add expiration dates of terms, just because there's always a question, and I don't want people to lose sight of that, because sometimes people who are associates go to an associates meeting and they might miss the meeting, and that's when their seat is re-upped. So that's just a little heads up for you.
I just realized my phone number on this thing is out of date.
Oh, okay, well, give me the correct one and I'll correct it on the
Should be in
form.
your phone book, I'll go ahead and send it to
Just,
WEFT as
just,
well.
just give it to me.
Tell it, yeah.
418-3029.
Okay.
And what's the best way to get a hold of you, Jermaine? What is the best way to get a hold of you? Because I know people send me texts or
Either
stuff and I
one.
don't get it.
I don't. I'm pretty much available.
So text or email?
Text or email, or phone calls.
I will
All of those.
reiterate what Barb said and what I
Facebook
said
Messenger.
earlier. I welcome calls. If I occasionally get a text that was sent in 2008, but
No.
don't ever expect me to get a text.
No one's full.
They go to some circle of
They
hell.
go to text heaven.
Voicemails and texts do not reach me the way live calls do, so.
Okay, all right, well, that's good to know. All right, I will send Jermaine, you're gonna get a boatload of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just put everything in a Dropbox file and share it with you.
Cool.
So I've got all of that I can
Works for
hand
me.
over. And then the last thing is the sexual harassment policy. At least on new business, that's the last thing. So, and I think we've determined that the executive committee is gonna review that, so there will have to be an executive committee meeting set by the chair.
How long
And,
is Sandra?
get that figured out.
You
Oh,
seem
I
really
can tell you
sad
one
you're not going to be chair any longer.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
not so much. Anything under fundraising?
Okay.
No, you're fine.
One of the things I was looking into, kind of doing it for work, but I also turn on doing it for here. So one of the benefits a lot of organizations do for themselves is member cards, or
Oh, yeah.
where you actually get discounts at local businesses.
Oh.
Now I will tell you that the 2 years I've been a member at WIL, for instance, I have made my money back off the discounts eating for free. So I view it as a good investment on my part. Probably not what they would use, but
Right.
that's what I've done. So I actually was talking to the company who does this, and typically for nonprofits under 2,500 membership, which I think fits us, 2,500 paying members. Typically, there's a $2,500 account setup fee. However, because we are in a market where there's already a public media organization who has these cards, WILO, what they actually do is they send letters out to their existing clientele and say, hey, we have another, media organization who wants to do this. Would you allow them to also utilize your benefit? They would start us out with 25 offers, so between restaurants and museum attractions, so like Cranert has some stuff. And basically the only cost us, because we wouldn't have to pay the $2,500 membership fee, is a $3.50 per year per card charge. So basically the idea is our basic membership is still $40. So the concept is, let's say basic membership is $40, you get your basic WEFT membership t-shirt, but maybe for, $60 or just some nominal upcharge, you get a membership card. We pay $3.50 of that, to them for the account set up for, the card and the recruitment and all that, and people get discounts at local restaurants.
It's a way to upsell, sort of.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So if we just pay $20 in additional dues,
Right.
then we eat cheap?
Well, for instance,
If we get the
for
deal,
instance,
yes.
for instance, $5 they call it buy one entree, get one free at a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
So like Picara, value up to $5.
Okay.
So I've gone to Picara, I think at least 5 or 10 times,
Mhm.
and got, bought one sandwich and got another for free,
Wow.
or $5 off.
Could you maybe email that out?
Yeah.
So that might be a good, if we're gonna have a financial development committee.
Yeah.
That would be a
Yeah.
good place to work out the kinks
Yeah.
on that.
So that was one of the funding. That was one of the fundraising things.
That's a great idea.
I think it's a good idea. Just I think those are good ideas. I know somebody voiced on our Facebook recently that WEF should have more fundraisers, more little fundraisers that they could, they're spending the money anyways, that it could benefit WEF at local restaurants, whatever. I know other board members in the past thought that WEF shouldn't do all these silly fundraisers that they really need to focus. WEF needs to focus its efforts, and do specific pledge drives and things like that. So just voicing those opinions for other people. We'll have to decide kind of which way we want to go, but I do think there are lots of options like the cards, restaurants, things like that, and there all are ways to get extra money. So.
And just to keep it on the table, we do still have the possibility of getting this Allison Krause event.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So that would be really, really a big deal.
Yeah.
In fact, I talked to Al yesterday, and he said he was going to try and get in touch with the manager again this week. And honestly, I think if we're gonna do it, we have to make sure it gets done like in the fall.
Right. Vicki, would you still help be the liaison with Al for that? Like help?
Absolutely. That's one reason I decided to be financial development
Yeah,
chair.
you
I
could
think
really
that's a good
focus on
place
that.
for it.
That'll
I
be
just
huge.
like to volunteer. I think we have like one album of Alison Krauss doing covers at WEF. When I've looked for her stuff, I've had a great deal of trouble finding it. But if it is available to me and we are doing a concert with her, I will play her every week. As
Alison
long
Krauss
as the
Station.
music is legally available to me. So
Yeah, well, she actually sent us a box full of stuff, autographed CDs and
Which
vinyl
maybe,
posters,
can go
all
out
those
in a
kinds of
special
things.
pledge
And I
drive.
just put it
Yeah.
aside because we don't know really what we're gonna do
Right,
with
right,
it
right.
yet. I figured if we have an event, we could do some kind of an auction or use
Yeah.
it as prizes or whatever.
Right.
anything
something.
signed, we should
Yeah.
auction. But if we just have like promo
CDs to
copies,
play.
I would play the hell out of them.
Do we think we could buy some or ask them to send us some?
No, we have some.
Oh, right, but the autographed ones,
CDs.
but do we have just ones to start playing?
We could,
Oh.
we could
I don't-
ask them to send us some.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure
Like-
there's a drawer full of them just sitting around somewhere, because
We could ask
Or
Kevin.
maybe to give us a digital copy in that sense that
Yeah.
we could play,
Yeah,
Kevin-
I'll ask Al to check in. I talked to Al and said, look, he's not on the board anymore.
Right.
And I said, would you like me to take over,
Yeah.
negotiation on this? And he said, I'll contact them
Yeah.
today, so.
that'd be great.
Yeah. Kevin might have them put away too, cause he's genre chair, so maybe.
Do you think it would be better to auction these things off on eBay
Or like local.
I don't
or
know.
local?
Local.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Local.
I don't know.
eBay does take a big chunk of the seller. It's much better for customers than people selling.
Is it?
there might be some other platforms we could.
The local scares me though, because I think about back at the auction for WEFT Fest, where some things didn't even get bids, so I
Could we-
hate to give
Well,
stuff away.
and
like
also,
that.
sometimes, and some people think of this the cheesier option, but it actually sometimes raises more money if you have something kind of that gets people's attention. Raffling.
Yeah.
Raffling sometimes brings in a lot of money.
But that takes a lot of effort, cause you have to sell the
Yeah.
raffle tickets.
Yeah.
I would suggest this, and obviously I don't want to push this any later than we already are. Whatever we decide for how to auction it, I think there should be an opportunity for input so that one person does not just lock us into something that a bunch of people complain about.
Well, and I was gonna suggest that maybe this is something for the committee to work on,
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah,
Right,
I
the
agree.
finance
Financial development.
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
I agree.
I did have you been paying, I've been tagging you and Brian on this not-for-profit fundraising stuff on Facebook. I think that's a great site and they post lots of stuff.
They do. Once we get into them, they turn into kind of scammy where you have to start putting stuff
Oh.
in. Like it seems really great, but then once we get in there, it's a little fishy.
Okay, I haven't ever gone into it.
Yeah,
I just,
the titles are real good.
Yeah.
But once you click the link, it gets a little fishy.
So
Clickbait, yeah.
if we're done, I would motion to adjourn.
I think we
I
are
believe
done.
we are.
Second
I will
that.
second that.
Okay.
Are we good?